brief background on how I do my Quan Tao painting. So this is a sample of what a Quan Tao looks like. The history of this is in 2015, I was in Singapore. I joined Urban Sketchers Singapore Convention, and I got to meet the guy who taught us how to do this. So Quan Tao was derived from Quan Kong, which is like Lord Guan, who was a military general during the ancient Chinese dynasty. And he was also parang part of the Three Kingdom book that was very, very famous. Like it's one of those historical books that one should read. And when he passed away a few decades after, he was deified. And he was now known as Quan Kong. And now he's usually, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you will see his statue, red-faced, sitting down or standing up, because he's believed to bring in good luck, fortune, abundance, and of course, cash, sa cash box nila. So this Quan Tao actually means, Quan is Lord Quan's name. Tao is sword in Chinese, so Quan Tao is like Lord Quan's sword. So his sword is actually a staff that's long and then shaped ng blade niya on top, which is parang represented by this one, and this is the staff. But we can't paint naman with a long stick. And then like Chinese brush painting, you only use Chinese ink. And this is almost similar to a dip pen for those people who are into fountain pens and dip pen, glass pen. So this is almost similar, except that we have a wider surface to paint with, and then this is actually just handmade. We call this the version 2.0 because the first version, we use masking tape. But masking tape kind of disintegrates after time when it's wet, when it's, been used and abused. Now, we found bulldog clip to work very well, tongue depressor, and just aluminum sheet. So I make my family drink soft drinks so I can get the lata. So there. And instead of Chinese ink, I've discovered acrylic ink. This is by Amsterdam, which is quite useful. It mimics the viscosity of Chinese ink, where you use an ink stick that you grind on an ink stone. Siguro next time I'll bring my ink stick and ink stone so you can see. And for this demo, I'm using a watercolor paper. This is 300 GSM cotton watercolor paper, hot press versus cold press or rough, to mimic again the quality of a rice paper. So originally, I've done my Quan Tao painting in rice paper using Chinese ink, Chinese ink produced by grinding ink stone on ink stick on ink stone. There. So now I'll show you some basic strokes using the Quan Tao pen. So this is acrylic ink. Just be careful. Just be careful because acrylic ink, like my outfit, does not really wash away easily. But it's very easy to use kasi it's ready to use. You can dilute if you want. So depending on which technique you want to accomplish, so you can use both. Sorry. You have to keep it tight, especially when you're traveling, kasi next thing you know, your whole bag is black or red, as the case may be. So this is what I've been using lately. So may mark na siya. And what's nice with the bulldog clip, you can remove the thing here, so it doesn't mar your parang style. So I like to hold my sword this way. You just dip it. You might want to stand. I'm okay. So you dip it, and you just like do that. So like wielding a sword. can like splatter here, splatter there. And then sometimes you can also do like this to produce straight lines or maybe off lines. Sometimes I like to use my trusty water sprayer just to create some effect randomly. And then when it's about a little bit dry, I can get my other pen, dip it in the red ink. Wala lang, and then just throw lang red ink randomly. And see where the paint goes. Especially if I want to diffuse the color. There. A bit messy, but it's fun mess. There. So I'm happy. I'm done. Thank you.